We'll take up a few sentences did last time and then proceed further. Evanescent, null, her sleep creates a world. Well, she works even in her sleep, you see. She is a lady who is always active. In fact, she cannot but work. She cannot but work. Her very character, her very nature, the feminine character is that kind of an occupation with something of activity. Activity. It comes from consciousness force. Consciousness force. So that is always active, you see. When most unseen, most mighty, she works. Housed in the atom, buried in the clot. Her quick creative passion cannot cease. So the whole idea is the creation, creative passion. So whenever she does something, she brings out something of the higher consciousness, the life force, the prana shakti. Prana shakti is active everywhere, whether it is an atom or any place, you see. Buried in the cloud. Buried means embedded. Buried not lost, but buried means embedded. Housed in the atom, embedded in cloud, her quick creative passion cannot cease. In conscience, it is a long, gigantic pause. Her cosmic swoon is a stupendous phase. In conscience is a long pause. She has come from the consciousness force. She has come from as consciousness force from Satchidananda. She has come from there. She has entered into this creation, and therefore she has to carry out now through a long process her work in the inconscience. Therefore, it is a long, gigantic pause. She cannot immediately change the inconscient matter which is there without life at all. So that is in a certain sense. So she is kind of asleep, so to say, but then she is constantly working even there, all the while, constantly. Inconscience is a long, gigantic pause. Her cosmic swoon is a stupendous phase. Yeah, cosmic, she has entered into cosmic manifestation. Time born, she hides her immortality. Yes, she is immortality, but she has put on the cloak of mortality, of time, and she is there here. In death, her bed, she waits the hour to rise. In death, her bed, she waits the hour to rise. You see, perfectly monosyllabic line, you see. In death, her bed, she waits the hour to rise. Iambic, monosyllabic, iambic, you see. Now, she has entered into mortality, and therefore death is her bed. And out of that bed, she wants to get up and start her work. She become conscious. She waits the hour to rise. Now, wait the hour to rise. Now, what does that mean? Hour to rise. Is somebody else going to work out that hour for her? Or she herself is going to prepare the hour to come out? She has entered here and now she is waiting. As if somebody else is going to prepare a moment for her to come up and start her work. It seems that she is waiting there for something higher entry to come in, you see. Something had to happen here. So she is there and she is waiting. Well, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I will definitely get up because my lover is there, my Lord is there, and He has sent me here for a certain purpose, and I will have to wait for His will to proceed further. In other words, her work in this process is a long pause, long waiting in the inconscience, as if by her presence, things are very presence of us in the inconscience is a sort of a preparation of the inconscience to wake up. And that is at the command of the Supreme Himself, at the command of the Supreme Himself, her Lord, her lover, as he calls it. In death, her bed, she waits the hour to rise. Even with the light denied, that center force, the light, you see, there you are, he has made it clear. So she is waiting now for that light to prepare the tower for her. Even with the light denied, sent her forth, and the hope that she needed for task, even when her brightest stars are quenched in night. Her brightest stars are quenched in night. The night has the power to quench the stars. The night can swallow the stars themselves, you see. It does not happen in our physical world. In our physical world, it does not happen. You can say the stars do get quenched in the astronomical world because stars also have a life cycle. Stars also have a life cycle, you see. They come up, they burn, and then when the fuel is exhausted, they become black completely. You see. They have also life cycles, you see, stars. So the night, in that sense, is quenching the stars, you see, also, you see. Even when her brightest stars are quenched. Now, what are the brightest stars of the night, of life? What are the brightest stars of life? Stars of night, of life are action, dynamism, power, beauty, love, expression. These are the stars by which she works here, you see. These are the stars. Now, these stars cannot be quenched by night. They are absolutely her own property and nobody can snatch it away from her, you see. Power, love, beauty, joy, action, movement, dynamism, these are her characteristic things. They are her stars. Nobody can touch them. Nobody can snatch them away, seize them at all completely. See. Even when her brightest stars are quenched in night, nourished by hardship and calamity, and with pain, her body's handmaid, misuse, nurse. Her tortured, invisible spirit continues still to toil, though in darkness, to create, though with pain. She carries crucified God upon her breast. Yeah, crucified God upon her breast. That's right. We had not done this line last time, you see. Now here, even when her brightest stars are quenched in the night, nourished by hardships and calamity, and with pain, for her body's handmaid, maid-servant, handmaid, masseur, a female massage giver, nurse who looks after somebody, you see. Now, what it means, you see, it means that this pain is a feminine. Pain is a feminine, you see. Pain, her body is handmaid. Pain is her handmaid. Pain is her masseuse. Pain is her nurse. You see. She's a feminine, the pain, you see. Her tortured, invisible spirit continues still, obviously. To toil, though in darkness. Well, she keeps on working. There's a long pause. There's a long pause in the inconscience. They toil in darkness. To create, though with pang, she carries crucified God upon her breast. Crucified God upon her breast. This reference to crucifixion occurs several times in Savitri. Several times in Savitri. First, we had already seen earlier 47.24. Our error crucifies reality. 47.24. Then in the book of fate, it occurs twice. In the book of fate, it occurs once. His crucified voice proclaims, I am God. Christ on the crucifixion. His crucified voice proclaims, I am God. And then again, that is 108.42. And then the fourth occurrence is 120.29. Each soul is the great Father's crucified Son. Great Father's crucified Son. Each soul is not only Christ. Christ is only one son, big son, but his soul is crucified here. He has sacrificed himself. He is suffering on the cross all the while. That is what we are. We are undergoing that kind of a thing constantly. So, now this line, our error crucifies reality. That is the line we have seen earlier, 47.24. Our error. See, we are not able to judge somebody who has come to help us, to redeem us, to save us. And that is an error on our part. And because of that error, he has to be hung on the cross, suspended on the cross, nailed on the cross. Yes, we nailed our error. Because we are not able to judge who he is. That is an error on our part, you see. We don't understand anything. We are going by our own kind of a rational process, meaning thought. We have built up our own system and we are restricted to that system alone, and then whatever is against that system, we kind of dismiss, do not accept that thing at all, you see. Our error crucifies God. She carries crucified God upon her breast. Now, this crucified God is the Supreme Himself who has come here. He is always there with her on her breast. In chill, insatiate depths where joy is none. Chill, insatiate depths where joy is none. Immured, oppressed by the resisting void, immured, confined, trapped, confined love, trapped, immured, oppressed by the resisting void, where nothing moves and nothing can become. Still, she remembers now, resisting void, immured, oppressed by the resisting void. Why did the void resist? Can void resist? Void is a person, is an action also. It is not, nothing means nothing will hurt, it's not that. It has also some kind of a character, personality, and it resists. What does it resist? What is the resistance about? What does it resist? Void. It will not allow anything to happen in it. The nature of the void is not to allow anything to happen in it. It will swallow up whatever comes out. It will swallow up whatever comes out, you see. That is the nature of void, you see. So that is why it is a resisting void. In spite of that tremendous power of the void, in spite of that tremendous power of the void, she manages to get something done. She is confined in this condition, secluded in this condition, but in spite of that resisting void, she managed to get where nothing moves and nothing can become. Now, there is kind of a lot of metaphysics involved here. Nothing moves, nothing becomes void. When you say void, it means that there is nothing in it. And yet you are saying that nothing moves. Yet you are saying that nothing moves, you see. That nothing becomes, you see. That nothing would mean no thing. No thing moves, no thing becomes, you see. But here, nothing is equivalent to void. In other words, in a certain sense, it is the void itself which is moving, which is the void itself which is becoming. It is void itself which is becoming, you see. In other words, there is some kind of urge or something present there in the void which is kind of pushing the void forward, you see. Immune operates where nothing moves and nothing can become. Still she remembers, still invoke the skill. She remembers. What does she remember? She remembers where from she has come. From the Satchidananda consciousness force, she has come all the way from there. She has come all the way from as a delegate of Aditi herself. She has come all the way from there, that place. Still, she remembers, and she remembered that thing. She has not forgotten that thing. That she cannot forget. Although she has entered in the unconscious and all that thing, her basic thing, her DNA has not changed at all. It is there all the while and active and working. You see. Still, she remembers, still invokes the skill, what works, what skill, what dexterity she has got up there, the capability of getting things done. She has not forgotten those things at all, you see. The skill, the wonder worker gave her at her birth. Wonder worker. Who is this wonder worker? The Supreme Himself, her Lord, her lover. Sachidananda, if you like to say. He has given her at her birth. When she was sent here, that was her birth. When she was sent here, that was her birth here. And he has sent her with all that skill of hers which is inherent with her. In past to drowsy formlessness, a shape. That's the whole idea of sending her. To give a shape to what is formless. To give a form to what is formless. Reveals a world where nothing was before. Well, reveals a world where nothing. Well, how can it be revealed when there was nothing? How can it be revealed? It means that she discloses that inherently these are the possibilities present there. Inherently there are the possibilities present there, and therefore she reveals that. Although it is void, although it is nothing and all that, but inherently there are possibilities also which can be worked out, and she is working them out. Therefore she reveals them, you see. Reveals a world where nothing was before, in realms confined to a prone circle of death, in realms confined to a prone circle of death, in realms confined to a prone circle of death, to a dark eternity of ignorance. So she is working under the influence of death and ignorance here, Indian conscience, death and ignorance. Now normally it is quite common that these two words, death and ignorance, occur together in Savitri together. In number of places, wherever there is the occurrence of death, there is also the occurrence of ignorance. In many places, Shivendu has used capital for both death and ignorance. In many places, Shivendu has used capital for the ignorance and small case for death, you see, in many places. In many other places, he has kept capital for both. Death is capital, ignorance is also capital. Now, we don't know, they have worked out some kind of statistics of occurrence of death and ignorance. How many are both capital, how many one of them is capital. It's like that, you see. But I think here D small seems better. D small seems better than I capital. I has to be capital because eternity of ignorance. It is something on a very, very large scale, whereas this is circle of death. It is the power of death. It is a circle of death. So I will say D small here is perfectly good in that sense, you see. If you go into small nuances, that makes sense. D small and I capital to a dark eternity of ignorance, a quiver in an inert, inconscient mind, or imprisoned in immobilized worlds of woe by matters of blind compulsion, deaf and mute. She reposes motionless in this dust of sleep, reposes, take rest. She is there, she has been sent, she is waiting for the hour to come. She is waiting for the hour to come to wake up. Therefore, she reposes in that sense. Matters blind, compulsion, deaf and mute. She reposes motionless for the hour to come. When she wake up, when the hour comes, then she will wake up. She will be active. Her motionlessness will go away. Then, for her rebel wakings, punishment. You see, he has put now sleep and waking. Waking is here already now again. Then, for her rebel wakings, punishment. This line I will scan as a headless line. Headless line means the first foot is a monosyllable. Then. That is name. Then. And the second foot will be for a rev, Anabest. Third foot will be wake, I am. Fourth foot will be king, wake, king's pun, I am. And last foot is pirik, ishment, ishment. That is how I will scan it. But I mean, normally in a hurry you can scan it. Then for her rebel waking. See, the comma gives a certain force to then to make it a monosyllabic foot. To make it a monosyllabic force. Then for a rebel waking's punishment, given only hard mechanic circumstance at the enginery of a magic craft. That's right, magic craft. She fashions godlike marvels out of mud. You see, she is waking up, so to say, and she is producing, creating marvels out of nothing, mud, which has no form, no shape, nothing is there. But she has really produced living, breathing, active forms of life, you see. As the engineering, that is her engineering, that is her craft, that is her work, you see. Really, I mean, when you think of how even a small little living creature has been engineered, so much of, so to say, thought has gone behind every little bit of that creature that it starts functioning without any fail. Take an ant, or take an elephant, or take a man. You see, I mean, the way our the system is built is a perfect engineering model. How? Everything is in its proper place and keeps on working. And it was without fail, in our case, for 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, something like that. No problem, you see. And the way the whole thing works, you see, the entire physiological system is a great masterpiece. It's a project of a chemical engineer who has built up the whole thing like that, you see. Given only hard mechanic circumstance and the engineering of her magic crown, she fashions godlike marvels out of mud, godlike marvels. You see. Yeah, really, she has created wonders out of that thing, you see. In the plasm, she sets her dumb, immortal. In the plasm, she sets her dumb, immortal urge. Even in the small little plasm, that urge is there, she has seeded that urge, helps the live tissue to think, the close sense to feel. That is her engineering. She has done that kind of a thing. Flashes through the frail nerves, poignant messages in a heart of flesh miraculously loved. To brood bodies gives a soul, a will, a voice. That is a marvel she has really created, done. To brood bodies give the soul a will, a voice, which is inert, which has nothing to do, which is wild. She has given a soul a will, a voice. It can assert itself, you see. This line, to brute is name. Body is gives. It is body, second foot is body is gives. Long, short, long. It's a critic. The second foot will be critic. Long, short, long. To brute, I am. Body is gives. Critic. A soul, a will, a voice. I am. All are I am. See, that is the artistry of the poet of Savitri. His foot variation is the magic of his rhythm, Savitri's. It is not the same monotonous t t t t t tum 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 tum. It goes on t tum 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 t t t t. It goes on back and forth like that. See. To brood bodies gives the soul a will to voice. Ever she summons as a sorcerer's hand beings and shapes and scenes innumerable, torch bearers of her palm through time and space. They are carrying her torch. Victory torch, everywhere, wherever she goes. See, she has really created life everywhere. Where life does not exist, you go to the highest place, in the stratosphere, there is life present. You go at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, 30,000 feet down below, 10,000 meters down below, and still there is life present here. There are frogs at the floor of the Pacific Ocean. Now just imagine those frogs living with that enormous hydrostatic pressure. So what kind of skins they must be having to bear that enormous hydrostatic pressure, see. But she has managed to produce life. Where is that she does not produce life? You call it a desert, but desert has its own life, its own way of living, you see. Everywhere she is present. So it is not really a certain set of parameters which gives life to life. You cannot say that the life can exist only between this temperature and that temperature. Below that, life cannot exist. Above that, life cannot exist. Life does not care about that thing. When life enters into matter, she adapts herself to the conditions of matter. So she is not worried that is there going to be life on Mars. Now, what do you look for? Whether the weather conditions in Mars are as good as on Earth. If they do match, then okay, you go further, possibly life can exist there, you see. But that is not necessary, that is not sufficient. These weather conditions, the temperature, water, this thing, that thing, these are in a certain sense incidental. They are incidental. They are not the basic reasons for life to be. Life goes and enters anywhere and she can create her own forms and shapes. Whether it is Earth or it is Mars, she can create even in the sun. If she wants, well, the temperature high in the center of the sun, the temperature are as high as 50,000 Kelvin, 50,000 degrees centigrade. But she wants to produce life, she can do that. She will adapt herself to produce whatever she wants under those circumstances. So life is not governed by these factors. It is life which adapts and prepares things for her expression. It is life's dynamism. Wherever she wants to go, she will produce life, you see. So it is wrong in a certain sense to keep on searching for life forms elsewhere, extraterrestrial life. But the basic reason is it may not be so really. The basic fact may not be so really, you see. The occult fact is it is the power of life which can work itself out anywhere. Now the question which you have to ask is there something very important that power of life should work only on earth and not elsewhere? Whether that power of life should work only on earth and not elsewhere? That is a more fundamental question. That is a more basic question. If you are able to answer that question, the other questions become irrelevant. Other interpretations become irrelevant. It's completely. Now, the question is, why is life present only on earth? Because earth is a significant center. Earth has been created for a specific purpose. Earth has been, you can't challenge that thing. It is the will of the Supreme or whatever it is. You can't challenge that. That's the premise. Earth is a significant center. Earth has been created for a certain purpose. What is that purpose? Evolutionary manifestation of forms and consciousness can occur only in the evolutionary process of the earth. And it is for that purpose that earth has been created and taken care of. Earth is the darling of the Supreme, so that the process of evolution can go on here. And he looks after her in every respect that this work of evolution goes on. He looks after in every way. He comes here and again as avatar and pushes up things up like that. You see, up, comes here as avatar. Earth is the darling of the Supreme, you see, and therefore he comes here periodically. Now, therefore, why he has chosen earth, that is another matter. We don't know that. But it is a fact he has chosen. And every effort is concentrated on the evolutionary process on earth. If it fails on earth, then it cannot be done. It will be pralaya and something else will be tried, you see. Ever she summons as by sorcerer's man, beings and saints and innumerable torchbearers of her form through time and space, beings and saves and saints Well, beings not only biological beings or shapes biological shape, but even the asuric, the rakshasic, the pisachic beings, they are her creation. They have been allowed to grow, you see. That is product of inconscience. It is going to happen, you see. Beings and shapes and saints and innumerable, torchbearers of her forms through time and space. So they are carrying a torch, you see. This world is a long journey to the night. Long journey, that long pause of inconscience through inconscience. This world is a long journey through the night. The suns and planets, lamps to light her road. Well, she has got a road, evolutionary road. A job has been given to her, and she has to accomplish that job. And every means is provided to her. But on that road, suns and planets are lamps. They are guiding her. Now, one can understand that the suns are the lamps. But how are planets the lamps? How are the planets the lamps? You see? I mean, from an astronomical point of view, this is an absurd statement from an astronomical point of view. How can planets be the lamp? They don't have their own light. If at all they have light, they have borrowed light, you see, and they can that be a lamp. You don't call it a lamp, you call it a shadow, you call it a reflection. Earth in the outer sphere looks blue, red planets looks red, but that does not become a sun, that does not become a lamp to give light to others. It does not give that light to others that we see. Now, the only way of understanding this thing is, in my opinion, the suns and planets, lamps to light her road. Her own intrinsic powers, which are kindled and which are active, which have got subsidiary powers along with them, it is they who are lighting her road. Life has power of love, power of activity, of action, of consciousness. These are the sons of her, and their subsidiary powers, the planets, circling around those powers, they are the planets. So it is these things which are really guiding her on her road. It is not that there are fixed objects and they are becoming the lamps to her, you see. Basically, love, sweetness, joy, activity, action, these are the sons of her nature, and they are guiding guiding life on the road here, you see. Our reason is the confidant of her thought. Our reason is the confidant of her thought. Again, reason is a confidant, feminine. Reason is feminine. Actually, she will use reason everywhere as a feminine, confidant, in whom you confide something. A lady, a woman in whom you confide everything. She is the confidant, you see. Our reason is the confidant of her thought. Our senses are her vibrant witnesses. They are drawing her signs from things half true, half false. Well, half true is equal to half false. Half cup is empty. Of course, it means also half cup is full. The only difference is half cup is empty and half cup is full. The only difference is the lower half of the cup is full, the upper half of the cup is empty. You see, it cannot be at the ground. You see. They are drawing a sign from things half true, half false. She labors to replace by realized dream, the memory of her lost eternity. So she has got certain dreams with which she has come. She got them actualized. She has realized those dreams. They have become functional. They are fructified here, and they are the reminders of her lost eternity, wherefrom she has come. They are they are fructified here. She has produced so many wonderful creatures here around, of all kinds of beautiful flowers, trees, fruits, birds, animals also, pets. She has produced all things. They are the realized dreams of life, and these dreams remind her of the memories she is carrying from where she has come. You see, So now this is a new paragraph now in the same section. The last is the same section. These are her days in this huge and ignorant, this huge world ignorance, this huge world ignorance. These are the dreams have got realized, and these are the deeds she has achieved here in this huge world ignorance. Now, normally in English, a single word does not carry two accents. Even if it is multisyllabic, imperishable, it has half a dozen syllables, but the accent falls only on imperishable, you see, not on all the other things, you see. Now here, if word ignorance is a single word, then you can't have two accents. You normally don't have two accents, you see. But word is an accented syllable. Egg is an accented beginning of ignorance, ignorance, ignorance. Long, short, short. Ignorance is long, short, short. It is a dactyl, ignorance. So, but in a compound like this, you can't say word ignorance. You can't say word ignorance. In other words, this compound is practically to be treated as one without a hyphen. To be treated one without a hyphen. So it becomes, these are her days in this huge world ignorance. And that can stand without a hyphen, you see, ignorance. Till the veil is lifted, till the night is still, in light or dark, she keeps a tireless soul. Time is a road of endless pilgrimage. Endless pilgrimage. Pilgrimage to what? She is going where on this road? Where is time leading her on this road? What is the pilgrimage she is carrying on? To which pilgrimage? Obviously, it is the fulfillment of her Lord's will in His creation. Lord has sent her with a certain will, and the fulfillment of that will is her destination, her pilgrimage, her struggle is for that. She has been sent to that. She does not forget why she has been sent by her Lord. And whatever suffering, whatever difficulties she has to bear, she will bear those things and move on through time, through the process of evolving sequences. She has to go on further and further. In light or dark, she keeps a tireless search. Time is a road of endless pilgrimage. Time is rocky. Her road, I am of end, I am less pale, I am. Last foot is Pyrrhic. Time is a road of endless pilgrimage. One mighty passion motives all her work. What is mighty passion? Mighty passion which has been by which she has been sent here. Her Lord, her Supreme, has sent her with a certain purpose. And that passion she does not forget at all. That is always there in her soul. Deep within her is always there, constantly. And for that passion, she will do whatever is required to be done. If she has to suffer, she will suffer. If she has to go slowly, she will go slowly. If she has to move fast, she will go fast. There's no problem with that for her. One mighty passion. That is, what is mighty passion? To express the divine will in matter. To express the divine will in matter. That is her passion. One mighty passion motives her work. Her eternal lover is her action's cause. That passion is governed by her eternal lover, the Supreme Himself, the darling, the beloved of us. Her eternal lover is her action's cause. For Him she leaps forth from the unseen world, from the supreme transcendence, from the consciousness force, from Satchidananda. She is lead forth for the unseen one. Brahat, vast is Brahat, wide, Brahat, wide, vast. For Him she lead forth from the unseen one. That is how she was born. She has taken jump. Consciousness force has taken jump into this creation completely, you see. To move here in a stark unconscious world. Well, that is a daring she has done, but that is her nature also. That is a daring, that is her nature also. Its acts, to move here in stark unconscious. For him, she leaped forth from the unseen one. Leaped forth. Suddenly she has come out, you see. In Greek mythology, Pallas Athene has sprung up from the head of Zeus. The thought of Zeus created Pallas Athene, sprung up from the heart of Zeus. She was not born in that way. She was sprung up from that. She leaped forth from his head completely. Same way in the Roman mythology, Minerva leaped forth from the palms of Apollo. Leaped forth, you see. Straight to play. Action, she wants. And Apollo's action, Minerva has come out, you see. The goddess of beauty also, you see. Now it is in that way, this life has leaped forth from the consciousness force, from a supreme lover, lead forth from the eternal lover, you see, coming out here. To move here in stark unconscious world. Its acts are her commerce with a hidden guest. Hidden guest. Hidden guest is a lover. She is there, but is not seen. Certainly we cannot see her. She has perhaps a glimpse of him all the while. At least he keeps on getting intimations from her constantly. Hidden his moods she takes for her heart's passionate mold. His moods she takes for her heart's passionate mold. In beauty, she treasures the sunlight of a smile. What a beautiful line is from. In beauty, she treasures the sunlight of a smile. In beauty, she treasures the sunlight of a smile. It's a wonderful line. So you can see the difference between this line and other lines, you see. It's more lyrical, more sweet, more enchanting. In beauty, she treasures the sunlight of smile. Ashamed of a rich cosmic poverty, ashamed of a rich cosmic poverty. She feels her very poor, pauper. She feels her wearing torn clothes, dirty clothes, and in those dirty clothes, torn clothes, she is going to present herself to her lover. Therefore, she is ashamed. Therefore, she is ashamed. The clothes are not worthy of presenting yourself to her lover, you see. But she is ashamed of that thing, you see. Cosmic poverty. She cajoles with her small gifts her mightiness, holds with her sin his looks fidelity, and woos his large and wandering thoughts to dwell in figures of her million impulse to force. Yeah, her force is working in a million ways. In every direction it works. In every direction. Whatever she wants to do, she can. Whether she wants to produce life in water, she'll produce life in water. She wants to produce life in mud, she'll produce life in mud. Wherever she wants to produce, she'll do that thing. In mountains, on the stratosphere, wherever she wants. In figures of her million impulse to move, only to attract. Why she is busy with that? Why? Why she wants to produce that? The whole purpose, the whole objective, the whole aim is to attract her veiled companion, her lover who is hidden, to attract him, to entice him to come and stay here. Please, the ground is being prepared for it. You come and stay here. That is the whole purpose. She is preparing in a very slow, long process something which will be habitable for him, which will be a kind of shrine for him to come and live here, occupy it here, you see, only to attract her veiled companion and keep him close to her breast in her in her poverty. She wants to keep it close, you see, poverty. Lest from her arms he turns to his formless peace. Well, that's right. See, if he comes here, he will create forms, he will have house, he will have shrine, he will live here, a dwelling place he will have. But if that dwelling place is not available, it will become formless. He will become formless, you see. And then you have got all kinds of formless things there up there. So what? You see, Ananda, it can have form, it can be formless also. Satyam. It can be formless, it can be some. You can be there. But here the whole purpose is to create forms to inhabit those powers of the spirit. The powers of the spirit should come and dwell here. It is for that purpose she is working, she is striving, and she is willing to undergo every kind of torture, difficulty, harshness. She is willing to that thing. That is a great job she is doing, you see. Is her heart's business and a clinging and keep him close to her breast, lest from her arm he turns to his formless peace. Is her heart's business and a clinging care. That is her business, that is the occupation, that is why she is here, why she has lived here from that place, why she has come down here, so that she can create forms here, that in those forms he will come and stay. He will come and stay. Otherwise, there is nothing for him to come and stay. Somebody has to come and prepare the forms for him. And she is doing that kind of a job in her heart's business and clinging here. Yet, when he is most near, she feels him far. Why does she feel that he is still far away? Because she is produced in this form in her poverty, in her inadequate means. These forms are not yet good enough, bright enough, brilliant enough for him to come and dwell here, living, active, dynamic enough that he can come and stay here. And therefore, she feels him still far away, you see. You see. For contradiction is a nature's law. Although she is ever in him and he in her, as if unaware of the eternal tie. The tie is unbroken, but both of them are kind of unaware of that between life and her lover. There is a tie, there is a relationship. Unaware of the eternal tie, her will is shut to God into her world. That is the whole idea. Her will is to shut God into her world, to bring him down here, so that he does not escape from here. Shut down, close him down, pin him down here, so that he does not escape. If he escapes, he becomes formless. The purpose is lost. The purpose is lost. Her will is to shut God into her world and keep him as her cherished prisoner, that never they may part again in time. They may never part again in time. Yes, they have come close together in time, in this manner she has produced. But she wants to see that he does not go away and disappear into his formless form, into his formlessness. It does not disappear. So she is keeping him, holding him back here as a prisoner, if like. And he is willing to do that thing because he is giving her full scope to work out forms which will become habitable for him to come and stay. A sumptuous chamber of the spirits asleep. At first she made a deep interior room where he slumbers as if a forgotten guest. Well, she has managed to create a small little space, a small little place where he can come and sleep comfortably, you see. Comfortably, see. A sumptuous chamber of the spirits asleep. Spirit is there. Well, this kind of reminds one of the inconscient Vishnu. He has entered into the void and he's sleeping on a thousand hooded serpent. He's sleeping on a thousand hooded serpent. Thousand hooded serpent, serpent is the power of evolution. Thousand hoods, the multiplicities of evolutionary creation, you see. Each power is having its own. And he's sleeping on the bed of a thousand headed serpent. Vishnu is there. And she's guarding him. But this is, of course, a slightly different kind here. A sumptuous chamber of the spirits asleep. At first, she made a deep interior room where he slumbered as a forgotten guest. But now she turns to break the oblivious spell. She is moving forward. Awake the sleeper on the sculptured couch. Come on, wake up, get up, start active, be active. Awake the sleeper on the couch to go. She finds again the presence in the form, presence in the form. That was the whole purpose. That he is there now and coming and residing here, present in the form, and in the light that wakes with him, recovers a meaning in the hurry and trudge of time. The light that comes now with his waking, she finds the meaning of all these things, why it is all for, what purpose this thing is. That is a long preparation for a much greater, higher manifestation. She has created forms. She wants him to be staying in the form. She imprisons the name. But now a moment has come that she can wake him up and he can become active and move forward. A meaning she can find in time. And through this mind that once obscured the soul passes a glint of unseen deity. And to this mind, it is mind which creates reason, creates a cover, obscures the soul, passes a glint of unseen deity. Unseen, he is still there. Across a luminous dream of spirit space, she builds creation like a rainbow bridge. She builds creation like a rainbow bridge. Rainbow bridge, multicolored, multi-stranded, many facets of life and existence and forms. She has built bridge between whom? Between him and her, between that and this inconscient world and the higher world. She has created a kind of bridge and there. And at the other end of the rainbow bridge, at the other end of the rainbow bridge is a pot of gold, you see. So you can go across the rainbow bridge and collect a pot of gold. Sachidananda is there at the other end of the bridge, you see. The pot of gold. Across a luminous train of spirit space, she builds creation like a rainbow bridge between the original silence and the void, the bridge between the silence and the void. Silence or the unknowable. Void, where it has become totally nothing, zero, shunya. Between them, see what a great task she has done. She has created between the void and the unknowable silence a link, a bridge she has built, you see, of many colors, of many hues. We count only 7 colors of a rainbow. But then, this is a multicolored. It has both, it has all kinds of ultraviolet, infrared, far infrared, deep ultraviolet, X-ray, whatever, all those colors are present there in the void, you see, in the bridge of rainbow, you see. She builds creation like a rainbow bridge between the original silence. That is her work. Rainbow bridge. That is a link between this and that, between the void and the absolute. She is the link. In other words, she has constructed a hyperlink. You click the hyperlink and then you are there, you see. You see. Between the original silence and the void. A net is made of the mobile universe. She weaves the snare for the conscious infinite. She weaves the snare for the conscious infinite. She wants him to come and stay here. She will not allow him to escape from this one. So builds a net and also get him trapped here. This one. And knowledge is with her that conceals its steps. And knowledge is with her that conceals its steps, its knowledge. Knowledge conceals knowledge steps. And knowledge is with her that conceals its steps and saves a mute, omnipotent ignorance. Because she conceals, it looks like an ignorance, omnipotent ignorance, powerful ignorance. A might is with her that makes wonders true. That's a lovely line. A might is with her that makes wonders true. The incredible is the stuff of common fact. Incredible, unbelievable, unthinkable, inconceivable. That is the stuff of common fact, of what ordinary things look where they become unbelievable, incredible, inconceivable. What was never conceived in them, they start kind of opening out. A might is with her that makes wonders true. The incredible is the stuff of common fact. Her purposes, her workings, riddles prove how does she do for us what she has made these wonders. For us, they look to be riddles. They prove to be riddles. She has created wonders. She has made wonders here true. But how she has done that to us, to our mind, to our reason, they all look to be riddles. They prove to be riddles. Mind cannot solve those riddles. How she has managed to get things. Really, you cannot understand, you cannot imagine how life could produce an ant. You cannot imagine. But she has managed to produce an ant. She has produced creatures after creatures after that. You see. How she has, we cannot solve that riddle at all, you see, beyond our. It's a wonder, you see. A might is with her that makes wonders true. The incredible is the stuff of common man. Her purposes, her workings, riddles prove. Examined, they grow other than they were. If you start looking at them, you see. Explained, they seem yet more inexplicable. You cannot explain them. See, examined, they grow other than they were. Explained, they seem yet more inexplicable. The more you try to explain Savitri, the more the more Savitri becomes inexplicable. The more Savitri becomes inexplicable. See. The more you examine Savitri, the more it becomes difficult to understand. It's really true. Explain, well, you keep on giving talks and and Savitri still becomes inexplicable, you see. So, but that doesn't mean that we should not explain. Well, that is not really the argument. In the given circumstance, you use your best faculties, your highest faculties, your highest capacities to understand and take things forward. You may not be able to explain that thing, but that does not mean that you should not utilize your highest faculties to get employed here. I can understand you may be explaining it, and it may become inexplicable also. So what? But I am at least making some kind of progress to the process by which this can happen to me. So that is the purpose of explaining also, you see. Explain the same yet more explicable. Even in our world, a mystery has reigned. Yeah, that's right. A mystery has reigned even in this creation here. As cunning ocean screen, her trivial plainness hide. Her larger levels are of sorceries made. It's a kind of magic throughout, you see. Even here in a world has made rain. Earth's cunning screen, trivial plainness hide. Her larger levels are sorceries made. There the enigma shows resplendent prism. Enigma shows resplendent prism. Its prism, enigma. Enigma showing its own prism. There the enigma. What is the enigma? How this mystery has taken place. How she has managed to get things done at all. That is a tremendous enigma. But that enigma itself shows that her prism is splendid. Something has happened. Prism means, of course, we know all prism. When the light passes through that and comes out from the other end, then you get a spectrum of rays completely. See, that's the prism. Now, in the verse, that is the splendid prism. In the world, the enigma itself discloses in the whole process the kind of colors and hues and possibilities and notes, undertones and overtones which are existing in the creation. And they are coming out, they are emerging. That enigma itself is telling you, where there was nothing, you see now millions and millions of objects, how they have come. That prism itself has displayed all those multiple beings and facets in that, you see. So it is the prism itself which is disclosing The enigma is disclosing the prism, prism is disclosing the enigma, both you see simultaneously seen. There the enigma shows its splendid prism. Enigma has produced this multiplicity of colors and hues and facets of manifestation, of shapes, of variety of consciousnesses operating here. And the enigma, which is to her mind, is not really an enigma to her. It has now kind of shown up to her. There is no deep disguise of commonness. Occult, profound, comes all experience. Whatever is happening is profound, is very deep, hidden, completely secret from us, is all experience. Marvel is ever new, miracle divine. So what is that enigma is ultimately showing the miracle divine. See, that enigma is showing the miracle that out of nothing all these things can happen. That is the greatest enigma. And that enigma is producing its own through its prism the multiplicity of forms which are coming into play here. Multiplicity of forms are coming into play. There is a screen, burden, a mysterious touch. There is a secrecy of hidden sense. Although no earthen mass weighs on her face, no earthen mass weighs on her face, into herself. She flees from her own side. Well, she has produced all these things. There is no covering now, early covering on her face at all. But there is a secrecy of hidden sense. Into herself she flees. What does she flee? Out of her own sight. She into herself she flees from her own sight. Into Trochee. Herself I am. She flees I am from her spirit own sight. Spotty. And to herself she flees from. Why does she go away from here? Because things had to be got worked out. All this things had to be worked out. All forms are tokens of some vague idea. All forms are tokens of some vague idea. All forms I am. A token I am. Of spirit, some vague I am. Idea. Amphiprag. Last foot is amphiprag. All forms are tokens, because that is why she has veiled herself. All forms are only tokens of some idea. It is not yet a real idea. But the idea is there. Let it be so. Somebody has imagined, let there be many creatures, birds, flowers, trees, fruits of variety of kind like that. You see, somebody has imagined that idea, and it is that which is only but tokens of things. Tokens means behind the idea there has to appear the real idea. And that is going to happen. Because that real idea is not there, only the idea is an expression at a moment here. She flees from her own sight. She flees from her. She is aware that this is not the real idea. She is aware of that thing. And therefore she kind of keeps herself away. Into herself she flees from her own sight. All forms are tokens of some veiled idea whose covered purpose lurks from mind's pursuit. Of course, mind cannot really understand, imagine, go that far at all. Impossible for mind to come to that. Yet is a womb of sovereign consequence. Yet is a womb of sovereign womb, wherefrom things issue out, wherefrom things multiply. Where idea, it is the womb of sovereign consequence. And forms of that veiled idea are only tokens. Forms are only tokens of veiled idea. All forms are tokens of some veiled idea is a womb of sovereign consequence. Or we can also say these forms of real idea are womb of sovereign. These forms are a womb of sovereign consequence. Means she has produced form. Now from this form, many things will come out, will happen, multiply as a consequence. She has produced form, great achievement has been done. She has now kept herself aside. There, every thought and feeling is an act. And every act a symbol and a sign. A symbol and a sign. A symbol and a sign of what? These are the results of the sovereign. What are the sovereign consequences? A symbol and a sign. Symbol and sign are the consequence of this failed act, of this idea. Every act a symbol and a sign. Now, these are symbolic, so to say. These are signs of something yet to happen. Signs of yet to something to happen. Every act a symbol and a sign. Symbol is the power by which the act will produce its results. Symbol is the power by which the act will produce its results. Savitri symbol, the mother's symbol. It is not just a symbol, it is a power of action, of a certain kind of an action. And it is producing, it is bound to produce its results that way. And a sign of things to happen. And every symbol hides a living power. And every symbol hides a living power. A universe she builds from truths and myths. Well, one can understand that she is building a universe from truths, but she is also building a universe from myths, which may be imaginary, which may be fictitious, but she does not dismiss them. She does not dismiss them. If it is an imagination, it means that it can materialize. If it is a fiction, it means that it can become real. It is not something very fictitious alone. It can become real. So even from that, she is able to, it looks to be a mythological thing, but for her it's a reality from which she can build a universe of its own. All these mythological gods and goddesses, whether Greek mythology or Indian mythology, I mean, they are not facetious. They are facts of things, you see. And they have become truth because somebody has built a universe around them, you see. But what she needed most, she cannot build. She knows her limitation. She has come a certain purpose. What is her purpose? To build form. To build form for her lover to come and dwell here. Now, what he will do in this form, how the forms will proceed, that is now another step. Something else will happen because of that. But what she needed more, she cannot build. All shown is a figure of copy of the truth. Well, the truth is always there, but what she has produced is only from an idea. The idea is not a real idea, and therefore it is a copy. It is an imagination, it is a myth which has become a fact here. But she has managed to produce a form. That is a great thing. That is a real thing. But the real waves from her mystic face. Now you see real clearly. Idea has produced, but the real is not there. The idea has produced the form, but the real is not there yet. Now that is entirely beyond the powers of life. To build a real idea is entirely beyond the powers of life. Means the entry of life can produce certain forms of consciousness which can progress and grow and multiply also, can produce wonders also, but then they are not real idea forms. The real idea forms and the inevitability of their working here will come only with the entry of the supermind. Only the working with the supermind. Life has entered into matter. She has produced wonders and miracles and all that thing, but she cannot produce the real idea. She cannot. She is aware of it, see. But the real waves from her is mystic wave. So you see, there is a reason why the real keeps her mystic face veiled. The reason is, well, the real knows that, well, life, okay, fine, but then there is something else beyond your means and capacities and possibilities. The real knows that thing, and therefore he keeps her mystic face covered from the real, you see, completely. Because the real knows that is supermind who alone can do that kind of a thing, you see. The real knows that. So he is encouraging, a certain process is there, she has come forward up to a certain point, she is doing a wonderful job, she has produced forms which can occupy, which can be a good place for the indwelling spirit to come and stay here, but then that's all. That's all. There are things much beyond that. You have to build up mind, you have to build up higher faculties, you have to build up then later on the possibility of supermind coming here. Unless those things are there, the real is wise, is pragmatic enough to veil her face. See, to veil her face. See. But the real veils from her, it's mystic. It stands for real. All else she finds there lacks eternity. She knows that thing. Well, I have done all this kind of thing, but it is only in time. It is only in the process, in the marching of things. All else she finds there lacks eternity. All is but sought out, but miss the infinite. The infinite Ananta, that is not there. Eternity is lacking here. She has confined. Well, in fact, that cannot happen. That is not the domain, that is not the work, that is not the job of life. The job of life has been all along to produce forms for higher powers to come and stay here. And she has done that thing. So it will be wrong expectation on our side to insist that life should produce something of infinity, something of eternity. In the material creation, she has prepared something, but that preparation is not enough. All else she finds, there lacks eternity. All is sought, all is sought out, all is sought out, but missed the infinite. Obviously, see. So that is the work of this life who has entered into matter. But she has done something wonderful. See, where there was nothing in matter, brute matter, she has woken up, she has produced forms of creation. And it goes on. A consciousness lit by a truth above was felt. Was wow, it was felt. It saw the light but not the truth. It caught the idea and built from it a world of life. It made an image there and called it God, called it God. Well, ultimately what she has achieved is only create an image, murti. But she has to do prana pratishtha in that murti so that it becomes living God, you see, powerful God. It can work, you see. Yet something true and inward harbored there. That is the great merit of her work, you see. Yet something true and inward harbored there.